Hey guys, the Glitch64 here, and I'm making this video because, as you guys probably know, YouTube has changed their terms of service to make everything more ad-friendly, and yeah, this could seriously affect pretty much every channel, but I feel like it also would affect creepypasta narrating, short story narrating, audiobooks, books, you know? Because all of that stuff, the authors and the narrators, all come under, free speech. YouTube is owned by Google, and all that is an American company. Now, I'm Australian, but you Americans really love going on about free speech. And I think that's really not being exercised here. Now, there's always two sides to this. There's the side of the creators who, we're not getting free speech. We're just flat out, being censored. But on the other hand, there is Google, who owns YouTube. They can do what they want with it. It's legal. We're using their service. But I feel when there's no competitor, we kind of don't have a choice, and we have to speak out. But I also want to talk about maybe we're overreacting. I don't know. I think why everyone's freaking out. Everyone has said before, the rules are too vague. There's no indication of what counts as anything. So I've got, the 5 dot points here that everyone's freaking out over. And the first thing is sexually suggestive content, including partial nudity, and sexual humor. That's right. You can't tell a dirty joke anymore. None of that. Sexually suggestive content. Sexually suggestive is a bit of a tongue twister. But I think I'm going to be drawing to my Lolita slave toy narration for this. Now, that is a heavily sexual story, and it does kind of have, partial nudity. It's a drawn, cartoon, realistic-ish woman, but not anatomically correct. You can't actually see anything. Would that be partial nudity? I don't know. It's too vague, And you think with all these channels putting just flat-out tits in their thumbnails, who knows? I know this is obviously targeting just people throwing straight-up porn onto YouTube, but just when you word it like this, just too vague. Just put no intercourse on YouTube, please. I don't know. There's got to be a better way than just sexually suggestive. What is suggestive? There could be someone that thinks as long as there's no penetration, there's nothing, even if everyone's completely naked. That's not sexually suggestive. But then there'll be other people that will see someone kissing and be like, that's provocative. So, there's no, And I feel like with a lot of stories, like Lolita Slave Toy, it takes away our right to be able to tell shocking stories. And that's what creepypastas and short stories that, horror stories, they should be shocking, provocative, thought-provoking, and, challenge you. And that's what I think, that's why I stand so firmly by Lolita Slave Toy, is that it should challenge you. It should make you feel uncomfortable. But under YouTube's new things, this is all just going to be a happy-go-lucky, it's a playground. Everyone's happy, all talking to each other. No one's getting challenged, It's just a circle jerk. If everyone, everyone loves something, there can't be anything negative, It's all just a circle jerk. Can't say anything bad. And me just saying it's a circle jerk, well, that is ruining like 2 of the rules on YouTube now. So, Second rule, violence, including display of serious injury and events related to violent extremism. Now, let's take away the violent extremism, because that's clearly targeting, fights, hate speech, actual, violence. Sorry. I'm gonna fix that. But, just flat-out violence. Now, creepypasta stories are by nature usually violent. they're very gory, they're very, it's a story, so they get into the detail. It's very detailed, very gory, bloody, and violent. A lot of stories are violent because horror comes from the psychological and the physical torment. You take away the physical torment and you're left with the psychological, but the psychological could technically be breaking like 3 of these 5 rules. And that takes away just both. You can only tell like just normal, you can't even, I was going to say you can only tell like fairy tales, but under these rules you couldn't even tell Jack and the Beanstalk because the giant falls over and dies in that story. That's violence. That's off YouTube. Grimm's fairy tales? Nah. Technically, under these rules, that's too violent. So I don't know. Here's the most disturbing one, in my opinion. Inappropriate language, including harassment, swearing and vulgar language. Now this means that you can't swear and expect to be compensated for your work. Simple as that. How many stories have swearing in it? And where's the line? If a story has hell or damn or bitch in it, does that mean that that's not advertiser friendly? It's that sort of thing where, you can't really determine. What was it? You can't really determine that, and that is terrifying. That pretty much 50-60% of my narrations have a swear word in it. Horror comes from the people reacting, and in reality, people don't see a scary figure in the hallway and go, well, that's a bit creepy, isn't it? I'm gonna mosey on the other way. No, in a real situation, they'll go, oh shit, I gotta get out of here. And that's how a character is written. And that's how a character is going to be narrated, because we're narrating what's written, sorry. And when I write my own stories and narrate them, I'm narrating what I wrote. And I think a lot of authors will agree that realism is extremely important in horror, in creepypasta. That's the main thing. If people don't believe it, it instantly becomes a not good story. So that takes away from it. And obviously there's a huge problem of just freedom of speech in general. It turns YouTube into a very stronghold, really terrible third-party sort of system where everyone has a domination, I guess not communism, but in the Middle East, we've got ISIS or something like that, just being a powerhouse and controlling things. Now obviously that's a very extreme thing to parallel those two, but really think about it. You can't have anything violent, sexual, or even swear, and there's 2 more rules to go. But those 3 have pretty much cut out 85% of all YouTube content. It's too vague. That's flat out too vague. What's the 4th one here? Promotion of drugs and regulated substances, including selling, use, and abuse of such items. Now, there's not technically a line there. If a story has a character who is an ex-druggie, a current druggie, abusing, there's a narration I plan to do in the future. It's a collab called it's a Cheech and Chong sort of story, where 2 guys get high and the devil comes and offers them a joint that does really fucked up things to them. Is that story going to get banned because there is drugs in it? It's a story about bad drug use, bad drug abuse. But under YouTube, you can't even have a story that says, drugs are bad, okay? No drugs. Drugs don't exist. Nothing exists. We're all happy. It's all a very G-rated world where drugs don't exist, swearing doesn't exist, nothing bad happens, no one dies, no one's getting violent, and sex is just, you came from storks. Storks flew and delivered you. It makes no sense to me. And finally, controversial or sensitive subjects and events. Controversial subjects and events. There is literally every creepypasta flat out. There's no creepypasta that is not controversial or does not have a sensitive subject. Name me one. Jeff the Killer, well, that's got, killings and death in it. Squidward Suicide, well, that's got, frames of children being murdered. Ben Drowned, well, that's psychological, viruses, that's sensitive. Everything is sensitive in creepypasta and short story. Reddit no sleep stories, that's all controversial, sensitive stuff, including subjects related to war, political conflicts, natural disasters, and tragedies. Even if graphic imagery is not shown, you can't talk about it. You can have a picture of lovely dandelions, but as soon as you bring up anything related to war, politics, you're done. That pretty much takes every news channel on YouTube and any creepypasta and so many other things, and it's immediately gone if that's enforced. Now that all sounds incredibly, incredibly scary. But why I'm thinking maybe we're overacting a tiny bit, people are saying I should take down my channel, I'm just going to take down my channel, I'm scared to post anything, and it's true, we should be scared to post now. It sucks, but that's what it is. But my narrations break all 5 of these rules. However, Lolita Slave Toy is still monetized today. It's still there. Buttonhead's still there. What's another controversial one? Scarier Things Over the South China Sea. That's political. That's still up there. Vitreous. Oh, one about suicide, I think. That's controversial. But that's still up there. I think YouTube is going to be taking on bigger channels. But for the general, sort of person, it doesn't seem to be hitting yet. But any day now it could. I could wake up and the channel would be, 50 stories would be, demonetized, unable to get monetized again. I've already got 3 stories that can't be monetized before these rules. So, who knows? I don't know if we're overreacting or not, but what I do know is that this is a terrible day for content creators. Just like it was when they changed the rules, 2 years ago. And it didn't really ever get fixed since. It was bad ever since then, and now there is a giant shadow over every content creator. If you make videos, there's a gigantic cloud over your head, and any day it could come thundering down on you. And that's scary as hell, especially for the people that make a living off this stuff. And for creepypasta narrations, I don't know what that means for our future. And that's scary. A whole genre of YouTube channels gone. And it won't be just us. There'll be tons of other genres of YouTube content just going down the drain. Like I said before, news channels should all technically get the ban. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see. This is just my 2 cents on it. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you got something out of this. So, yeah. See ya.